this map as well. You have so much vertical plays to work with, and especially with that mid control with the op on Jet, forget about
Here.
trying to either defend it or try to take it back from the defenders, because right now Jet on the op or Marshall, when she does get it, can be nasty on catwalk.
Yeah, she definitely can be. She can do a lot of work using the operator on catwalk, but that's a couple rounds out, and that's really just going to depend on how Arial Arise does, because of course the only Jet we see is on the side of AA, and if she's not able to get that, well, how would I say it? If she's not able to get the economy down pat, it's just not going to be the best for her. It's going to be a lot of rounds where anything happens. But she pushes her way into sight.
Oh my god!
All the way to heaven already. Stuns finding the first kill, but
Roasty
is going to go ahead and take him out. Roasty falls. Toasty is on path with a vengeance. Stuns finding 2 kills now as Polo takes out Steph. Just like that, man count is in favor once again of VGA, despite the fact that it was a very aggressive and very noble push from the Jet very quickly into sight. Now, site control is mainly in favor of Arial Arise here, but VGA having the stronger man count here is going to find difficulty. The door is not closed, though. Means they can walk their way into sight. It's going to be stuns up top, trying to take some shots, but it's going to be taken down by Polo. Raph left in a tough situation now is going to meet the fate of Rika Bonkers Classic. A round that wins very aggressive, very fast, is now going to swing in favor of VGA.
That's a really impressive comeback. I do think that Arial Arise went a little too aggressive there, especially Stuns. Stuns went like a hawk in the sky towards the heaven area of A site, and Roasty didn't even react. You saw on his perspective, you saw just a shadow of where Jet was and still didn't really react to it. That's how crazy Jet can be sometimes. But that was a pretty, I almost want to say an even round, all things considered, because that spike plant did go down. It looked like it could have been anybody's game, but that last minute rotation from B side to A is what stalled out the attack enough to kind of second guess what they were doing and give enough positioning advantage for VGA to take it over. Now Roasty this time around getting the opening pick on the Stuns. It's not going to be Stuns taking out Roasty this time, but his good buddy Roasty the Toasty takes down Raph and Matt to go with it. And suddenly, with like less than 30 seconds into the round, you're down to 2 players left alive. Toasty gets another one, so it's only down to 1, stuck in a corner and killed like a rat in a corner. It's gonna be the Roasty Toasty combo getting their collective ace between the two, bringing it to a 2-0 against Arial Arise again.
I mean, there's a lot that I would like to unpack from that round, but all that we have to say about that is just the Roasty Toasty combo, putting in a lot of work. I mean, I would not necessarily expect such a dominant force to take place this early on, but nonetheless, it is taking place. Now, if you want to take a look at the top left corner, it does seem to be a site take, maybe pushing their way through mid to one of the sites, which is something that tends to be a little bit more powerful, just because mid coming in from whatever mid control they have is a huge feat. Now Toasty finding the first kill, though, immediately refrag. Roasty and Toasty are both going to fall to the hands of Raph and Steph. The Roasty Toasty combo is going to fall to the PH brother and sister duo, at least in terms of agents.
Ew.
They're going to be the one to fall. Now 3v4, back to a deficit man count for VGA very quickly.
It is an absolute A push right now between both teams. That's right, both teams are pushing A. It seems like it's becoming much more aggressive this time around for both teams. It seems like they're both trying to take over the same site pretty much. But the defense is mostly going to be on heaven right now. Stuns gets a few shots in the air against the Brimstone, but somehow Brim does not die. I believe that's going to be Raph on the the defending Brimstone right now, and she does not want to give up. They continue to go for it, but the headshots miss. Stuns has A all by themselves, so that buys enough time for the rest of AA to plant onto B. You can tell Rika and the rest of the gang realize what's up, and now that the spike is down, they have to all push from a singular direction. They all have to push from the back of site going towards spawn, and that's going to be a great indicator to Molly and Stage wall it off. Now, whoa, the vertical plays from Rika. I'm not really sure how they did that. There must be a ladder there that I never realized. Rika with a 3K right now, and suddenly it's looking like a defender game again. Let's Steph from the shadows comes back and takes down Polonium, but gets a few shots off on their own. Mindless secures the kill, and that's going to be 3 rounds in a row. 3 defuses in a round. 3 defuses in a row. That is going to be a huge lead right now for VGA. And again, if VGA takes this map, they will be going to the grand finals, and we will be saying goodbye to Arial Arise.
Can I get a drop?
Now, 3 plants in a row. Was that a plant on round 2? Because I don't remember there being a plant down on round 2. Did not mark that down. It may have been mistaken,
No, it was not. It was so close.
Yeah, but nonetheless, a beautiful sense of vertical play coming out from Marika there. She actually jumped on the boxes onto the stage wall, so that's a beautiful amount of game sense there from Marika. You know, that's a very common stage wall when you have B-site. So using that to their advantage, and it falls so quickly, you wouldn't expect someone to be on top. But nonetheless, it's a wise move, and now the showstopper comes out with a double kill, taking out Space and Matt. 2 attackers very early on, just falling to the hit of the showstopper, and now it's going to be an attempted op shot. Roasty and Toasty firing back with 2 more kills. That's going to be Steph left all to themselves, and Mindless taking out the final kill. What came out to showstopper, raises ultimate, very, very well named here. Just annihilating 2 members right off the rip. Such an easy round there. You know, after you find those first 2 kills, literally 5 seconds into the round, there's not a lot you can recover that quickly. When you lose 2 more in the next 5 seconds, that may have very well been the quickest round of Valorant I've ever seen. And yesterday we saw someone literally throw 2 rounds because of a rehost. So
yeah, even those rounds
goes
took
to
longer.
show.
Yeah, those took longer. Oh my god. But right now, Catwalk is hotly contested. Toasty takes down Space. It's Phoenix versus Phoenix, and Toasty comes out on top. I'm pretty sure no one else in AGN can rival what Toasty can do right now. Stun's going for the vertical plays on the up, I believe, trying to get the shot on Toasty, but Toasty's way too quick, faster than a blink of the eye, escapes from the back of Garden. Not going to be in too close proximity from a jet with an op. That's a terrible idea. And that Spike is still in a very precarious position. Now, we do have the Brimstones pulling up on B, but not going to dial it back. And so it's going to be in between A and B right now, where the majority of AA is trying to figure out what to do. It's an opportune time for a lot of VGA to move forwards and trying to just snuff out this round. Steph does revive Space, and that's going to be 5 people back on the board. It's almost as if nobody died. Now, Jet does come down with that ult, and is it going to make a difference? Yes, it does, because Stuns takes down Rika Bonkers, and Polonium comes back with a double kill, taking down Stuns and Met, and you lose one of your duelists and a support on the line. Steph comes back and takes down Mindless, and the plant is well underway on B site. Toasty's stuck. He's going to use his Sheriff to open up the stage wall. He needs to preserve as much ammo as he can, but that Spike plant is going to go down. Him, the Cypher, and the Omen all stuck in the same exact spot. This could be an opportune place for a 3K, but no, the push-up, the Hellfire goes down. It's going to force the push-up, and that's going to be a huge slaughterfest from Arial Arise. Space with a double kill, and the Hellfire kill coming out as well. Gonna lead to a point in Arial Arise's favor. The first one we've seen so far, coming close to the first quarter of the game.
The Hellfire coming out from Raph, a beautifully read situation. You know, time is ticking away. Like I said, that's only 45 seconds you have. Once that spike's planted, you have to make stuff happen fast. They wasted so much time getting a stage wall down that there's no time for a rotate. So when you put that Hellfire down, you can't fall back and wait by any means. Now the running back from Phoenix here coming out is going to mean in a very aggressive push. Space already in sight, but gets shot down by the op on top of the staircase there. But the running back is going to be the thing that keeps his life safe and in check. However, Jet is in sight now. Stuns just walking on in, but gets shot and domed down by Mindless. Matt finding kill on the Toasty. The top fragger is going to fall, but for an even man count.
It's an even man count, but you've lost 2 of your best fraggers on the board. You lose out on your Jet, and you lose out on your Phoenix. There's still a Raze and a Phoenix on the board, however, and it's looking like A is going to be the opportune side again. Neural Theft comes out against the defenders, and it doesn't matter because Roasty still gets a kill on the Raph, and Space takes down Roasty in a refrag. Double A, though, all things considered, still really on top of the refrag game. Speaking of which, it's going to be all heaven or nothing for the defenders right now, and it seems like hell is the place to be. There is a Cypher at the bottom. I believe that is going to be... Yeah, that is Cypher down below, and it's a risky situation for Rika Bunkers to be in. Mindless goes down for the smokes. I'm sorry, the Hellfire. And that's the only time they can really do much. Matt's gonna be taken down, but Space with the Vandals gets a 3K against VGA, and that's gonna be another round on the board for Double A. What was once 4-0 is now only halfway to becoming even. That's a really good position to be in, and maybe this is a snowball effect they need to bring it back.
Very well could be that, but still not having to worry about much with the economy is going to be VGA. They still have plenty of credits. It seems the only one that's going to be limited on what they can buy is Space, who has died almost every single round. So you're not expecting a whole bunch. Rather, that was Arial Rise. My apologies. But VGA is still nonetheless looking just fine, buying their regular Phantom and Vandal setups here. Raises Boombot coming out, reading for any attackers here inside of the kind of the B main area, pushing out before they get into the marketplace here. Flash comes out around the corner. Space makes his way on in. Is going to try to take shots onto Rika. Not going to find anything. But someone's in the corner there in Space with a beautiful flick. Finds 2 kills now. And just like that, it's going to shut down. The running back now in effect is active. He has the ability to use it, but is not... Actually, rather, he is currently using it. My apologies. So he's going to be aggressive push, but just misses him around the corner. But the spike can go down now. Just like that, B-site is in the control for the attackers with a definitive advantage in terms of man count.
Definitive indeed, but speaking of definitive, Matt and Steph clapping over Toasty and Roasty. It's gonna be the dream team of Stealth Queen going down, unfortunately, and Polonium not too far behind. Space on the Phoenix really showing up this game and taking down pretty much almost the entire team, or I suppose 3/5 of the majority. That is important because AA is bringing the comeback. They've learned from their mistakes and they brought back the double duelist for map 3. And that's really impressive. They realized having all intel, all brains, not really the move to take when it comes to VGA. And although they're struggling in map 3 as well, this is the time for them to make the comeback.
Yeah, I like to see it. A lot of teams are taking after, the professional teams and what they do, but no. Not Arial Rise. They're going for a double duelist again. And Space now finding another kill, finding 2 of the exact same people in the same spot. So early on, is now going to once again, in just a matter of seconds, leave them with a man count advantage. Arial Rise. The same peak time and time again is not working. Like Suns with the op in his hands takes out Roasty. Toasty is still alive though, possibly looking for vengeance. Polonium with a frenzy from a long range takes out Matt. That's the first kill in the hands of... I'm blanking right now. VGA. My apologies for that, but nonetheless still a 1v4 as Suns finds yet another kill. Spike has been planted now, so it's going to be left up to the Omen all by lonesome up on the catwalk. Polonium left on low health is going to have to deal with something at Space with another 3K on the round.
Space is playing unbelievable. He is the Toasty of this game so far. Toasty on the Phoenix as well on VGA side is still playing really well, but having this extra punch of aggression is what they needed all along. We brought it back to a 4-4. This is Double A getting 4 rounds in a row right now. And this is what they needed. It's 4 rounds in a row versus 4 rounds in a row between both teams. I don't think that's going to change swapping sides either. I think both the attacks and defenses are really doing a good job. Of course, as I say that, Stuns immediately comes in with a kill onto Toasty, and that's going to be a lot of aggression on the A. Now, it's going to be the second kill from Roasty, taking down Matt. We've seen Mindless clapping back on the Space as well, and Steph taking down Polonium. But here's the thing. Rika came back with an op themselves and took down Steph. Excuse me, and that is going to be a 3v2. Still no spike down. It's completely surrounded by defenders, and if you're Double A, you're thinking your streak might be over. You're trying to rotate around right now. You're completely blind. You're looking for someone in heaven through a small little peek hole inside the smoke, and you're not finding it. The people in heaven are aware of what could happen, especially that the Jet on the op is a force to be reckoned with. They're not going to peek out so easily. 50 seconds left, and Roasty's stuck in the bottom of hell. That Spike has all eyes on it. There's literally no way to get it without taking on a gunfight, without possibly sacrificing an attacker. 37 seconds left, and it's being super slow, and neither team wants to make a huge risk. But it's going to be Stuns, of course, of all people, to go forwards with the Jet. Now, the Jet is in cargo area right now. That's going to be Raph taking down Rika and Roasty, and that is going to be a surprise win for AA. It seemed like it was completely in the favor for VGA, but that Jet ult and the surprise double kill, the follow-up, helped so much.
I mean, really, when it comes down to it, it came down to frags there. You know, Jet's ultimate has such a strong ability, but with a double kill coming out from the Brimstone, that means that there is plenty to fear.
This goes here.
Now, that's now going to be, what's that? That's 5 kills for Raph. He has not gone a lot on this round, but he does not have to. He is a kind of a controller in a sense. He has a smoke, so he has to hold back. But being able to find those kills, though, is still just as important. Any 1vx, 2vx situation, any clutch situation where you have deficit is going to be huge. Stuns the operator, those going to try to push up onto the green box here. If someone very, very close to the corner is going to be seen, though. Toasty gets 3 people to shoot at him right off the rip. Raph is going to be the one to find him, though. He's going to wind up taking off his head very early on. That's one of the 5 ultimates down for the side of VGA. Noting that they do have 5 ultimates, though. Space finds 1 kill, but mindless with the immediate refrag, and the turnaround is going to deny him any more gain onto that site. Now, we are at a 3v4 deficit for VGA, but it does seem to be an A site take. 2 members are still on B, and Cypher's links have all gone down. Sheriff getting shot at by the op.
I know it.
Now, the ultimate coming out means that the positions are going to be known, but there is no need for that. Hellfire coming out now. It's going to be trying to find some more, but the spike still being planted just away. 2 remaining members inside smoke. Matt finds 1, and the second one as well. And that is now a 6-round run for Arial Arise. They took some shots of espresso. They've kicked themselves up, and they are ready to come back.
I'm not really sure if they were asleep at the keyboard or let their little brothers play last map, but this is the Arial Arise we are familiar with and we saw on Haven, and it's looking like they really want those $100. Keep in mind, whoever wins this map will move on at the very least win $100 for 400 prize pool. And right now, they went from 0-4 to having a 2-round lead, having won 6 rounds in a row. With that being said, I mean, that's really impressive and everything, but they gotta keep it up too, because I don't think VGA wants to give up too easily. But Space does find Toasty again, and Toasty's not having a great game so far. He seems to be the one that being first picked off pretty often, and maybe his aggression's a little too aggressive. Now, it's a minute 6. What's up?
I was just going to say, you know, once you see the fraggers start coming out on the side of Arial Arise, that is when it starts getting serious. You know, they didn't have any fraggers, they didn't have anyone that they could expend and get super aggressive. But now that they do, they have 2 of those. And it's just putting in an absolute large amount of work, and you can see that by them now having a 6-round comeback.
And with 50 seconds left on the board, it's really going to be back and forth. Yeah, you're down your Phoenix, and that's huge. Like you said, you rely a lot on those fraggers if you're VGA, but the spike is completely surrounded by AA people on B site, and Stuns takes down Roasty. You're losing defenders 1 by 1. That spike plant's going to go down, and it's really down to this.
Time ticks away as the spike has already been planted now. That's going to be the Sim Beacon coming out from the Brimstone on the defending side to increase everyone's abilities to shoot the weapons and reload as fast as they can. So when that push comes back in, Showstopper now coming out is going to be trying to find someone, but it's going to be left on the roof. Space finds a kill on the Rika as he tries to retreat from the Hellfire. 2v5 situation, make it a 1v5 now as things are not looking good for the defending Brimstone. Stuns finds him finally with the operator in his hands and turns that into a flawless round. And now what is a 7-round streak for the side of Arial Arise. Now, like I say, we are on round number 12. That means everything's going to reset for this. Are we going to see VGA come back with another 4 to however many rounds now that we're switching to the pistol round? Or are we going to see Arial Arise keeping this up and going to gun it for these next, few rounds that we have?
I think that's a very interesting question. Historically, Arial Arise has won the majority of their pistol rounds, but lately, I don't know, because if they can win this round and the pistol round, that's going to put them at a 9-4 lead. What if at the very least VGA can clap back and win the final round in the first half? We could see at least a little bit of a closer margin heading into the second half, even if they do win that pistol round, or at least if Arial Arise wins that pistol round. Now, notice on the minimap, the spike is completely gone. There's no attackers up near at all. Toasty takes down stuns, but Matt claps back and takes down Toasty himself. Again, the spike is completely gone. The Sage realizes this and picks it up. Roasty doesn't care, however, and takes down Space. This is going to waste a lot of time for the attackers, and the defenders are neural-thieved. I guess that's the word. But you know exactly where those attackers are going to come from, and that's mid. Steph does revive stuns, and really that just brings the man count back to even. Both Phoenixes are dead, and it just seems like Arial Arise does not know what to do right now. They can aggress forwards, they could go backwards, but there's really not a lot of options they have on the table. We do see one defender on A site, and that is going to be Matt, I believe, on that Cypher, but we do see a very interesting Heaven approach, or no, they turned their gears very quickly, and with Polonium taking down Steph, never mind, the whole team with a firing squad comes from behind and secures the final round on the second half. That's going to be 5-7 right now, and like you said, this could easily turn to an 8-5 if Arial Arise, as predicted, wins the pistol round.
I have to say that despite the fact that they just lost 7 rounds in a row, it does not seem to be getting VGA down at all. Their aim is still impeccable, and they're still, really fighting for it. It's just the fact that they're getting, outplayed by whatever means it may be. It is a huge set for Arial Arise to try to keep, rounding this out. Of course, now they're on the defensive side, which is something that you'd like to see. Especially on a map like Ascent, you have the Cypher, meaning that even though there was a Cypher on the defense the last half, it's still going to mean a whole lot for your flanks. You'll be able to watch it, or as you can see on A site, Cypher's using it rather selfishly to tell himself if anyone is coming through the kind of A link to, I guess you could call that A long, if anything, but I don't even think that would be the correct term for it. The correct terms are not important when you see the rush coming in. Now, Bonkers finds the first kill, and Toasty with a nice one-tap as well. He's going to take out another one as well. Space falling through the hands, and Sun's finding 2 now. Polonium and Toasty being absolutely annihilated on the catwalk, but the position is going to be red. It's going to be Mindless now. Is finding a kill on the mat as he tries to take him out. Not going to work, though, and the spike is being planted for the hands of VGA. Spike down, 45-second timer has begun. It's going to be all about the retake situation now. Smoke coming down from Grimstone. Right between the eyes. Perhaps able to make a little bit of advancement, but he finds the kill on Rika, bringing this back to a 2v2 even man count. Here's the tick of the timer now. Jet rushing their way inside. Toasty finding one, and Mindless finding the others, and the attackers just like that close out the round, and that's going to be VGA closing the gap between them and Arial Arise once again.
A very close round, all things considered. I'm surprised. I mean, I could understand what the defending Cypher was trying to do. He put both of his tripwires down on A-Link, trying to trip out the entire pistol team, by the way. But unfortunately, it started off as a mid/B attack and rotated around through Garden very quickly, bypassing those tripwires completely. And that was the right play for VGA, and it worked out really well in their favor because, spoiler alert, they won the round. Now Toasty Toaster wants to break that Sage wall immediately, and it's gonna be a 6-7 right now. These rounds are important. You've got to even it out. And so, with that being said, that's gonna be 2 kills going down, 3 kills going down against Arial Arise, and that's gonna be the spike plant going down momentarily. Now, if you are AA right now, oh, okay, that was an interesting trade. Stuns taking down Polonium, and Mindless taking down Stuns. Again, it's a 2v2 right now. You have a duelist and you have your support, and a duelist versus a support. You're not in a good position right now if your name is Arial Arise. You have to go through Marketplace, you have to go near the fish, and you need to figure out which of... No, never mind, the doors are locked, but you're still going to break it open with your pistols. That's going to telegraph the VGA exactly where you're going to go. Brimstones go down, you're pushing through Catwalk and Barber, and you cannot find anybody. Grenades are going to go down, it's going to force your positioning. Grenades are going to take down Space, and Mindless takes down Matt, evening out everything to 7-7. That's a big yikes.
Once again, evening out the score count is going to be VGA. Really coming back on the back burner here. You know, they lost 7 rounds in a row,
There.
which would definitely
Caution
be
here.
demoralizing. But like I said, they are not letting it get them down. They are fighting for it the best that they possibly can. And that is, to say the least, absolutely huge. You know, now we're back 7-7. Anybody's game at this point in time. It's all about a matter of who's going to win out these next rounds. Of course, we're going to be going a long distance in terms of exactly how many rounds, though. That is going to be the question we have to beg. Are we going to see a 1-1-1-1 kind of situation, or are we going to see VGA coming with an absolute just hailstorm of rounds, non-stop, ongoing?
Yeah, I mean, are we going to see a hailstorm? I don't know, because this is going to be a very, very close push, it seems. I think it's going to, tension is going to build up and build up and build up and finally release once Space gets that kill onto Toasty. Again, Toasty, regardless of the side, not having a great start. But Matt takes down Polonium and Roasty, and that's going to be Mindless finding Rav out, beating the op pretty much, and a 3K to go along with it. VGA's not looking too great right now, but you know what? To be fair, neither is Arial Arise. Rika does find Steph, and that's going to be one defender left alive, and it's Stuns floating down to their demise, now floating up to the sky. Mindless with a 4K, bringing it back. VGA taking the lead again, 8-7. That's going to be 4 rounds in a row now in their favor, bringing it back 4-4-4. Now would be the chance for Arial Arise to keep it going and getting another 4 rounds in a row.
That is exactly what they're going to need to do. You know, a beautiful take coming out from the side of VGA that previous round. You know, we saw Arial Arise, at least the jet of Arial Arise, looked like that while they used their knives out ability, it was not enough. That was Stuns, actually, who was unfortunately not able to make anything happen with the knives out, and only one shot with those knives. Now for the grenade coming out there with a look into the corner is going to go ahead and read Stuns' position beautifully. Rika might try to find the kill, but using her dash to get away very quickly, Stuns is going to be just fine. Rosie now, however, finding a kill. The first one of the round for VGA. It's going to be the Phoenix down, meaning that one of their only attackers is going to have fallen. They are going to have to fall back on the other duelist. Rosie finding yet another kill with the Phantom in his hand, clicking heads left and right, taking out Raph.
Raph being taken down, and so far it's looking really good for VGA. You've lost a support and a duelist, but hey, everyone on your side is still alive, and now you're forcing the entire defending team to rotate all the way around. Stuns right now is in the best position to do something, but they only have a Sheriff. They don't even have their knives on the board anymore. Stuns is trying to find a way to do something, whether it's finding an angle just like through the wood, but unfortunately it's just not enough of a angle, I suppose. Steph does find the double kill on the Sheriff themselves, taking down Toasty along with it, and it could really go either way at this point. It's a 3v3. Nothing really happening, but again, because of the utility that the defenders have, they're stalled out and it's way too late to defuse. That's gonna be another round, but no, Stuns wants to go for a last minute attempt. Not gonna work out. Rika Bunkers takes them down, and even then it would have been too late, but at least stalling out that defuse just for a second cost Rika Bunkers their life. And that's gonna be a 2-round lead all of a sudden from VGA, and it's only going to be 4 more until they can possibly go to the grand finals against PDHM Gaming, and for a chance of a guaranteed $100. But we are seeing again another B-side push, and these have been pretty good, all things considered. I would say the A side has been a little bit shakier, and just because they go for A side more doesn't mean they win every round. Their B-side has been pretty much a guaranteed win each time they've gone. I think maybe once it's not worked for them, but it's been about 50-50, I would say, for their A-side push.
that it definitely has, to say the least. I mean, every single attack round thus far for VGA, they have managed to win. So regardless of, whether or not they were going A or B so far, they have a 100% win rate on both of the attack sides so far. Almost picking up the head of the Phoenix, though. Stuns, almost removing Toasty out of this round, but is not going to make the ends meet, per se. Going to just see the head, but it's going to fall back for a quick retreat now. Seems to be a kind of a split site hold here, with the Jet being the one who can stay back and go to either strong vantage point from the defender side. You can see on the map on the top left that it's going to be 25, being that the A site take is now going to be a lot of rotation. Sage going for the rotate and Jet now falling in the A site. But just like that, it's going to be VGA funneling in 3 members in the B site, and B site is completely theirs, smoked off by the Omen and by the Brimstone. These are not going to be able to get a strong line of sight, and the flank continues now as the Phoenix players come back. Still a 5v5 situation, with landed into the site. They are redefines one. And the Polonium as well. The showstopper coming out, so going to find another one. Steph, the immediately refragged after taking out Mindless. Now it's a 4v2
Out of charges.
A 4v2 situation, and now you're down to just the Brimstone. He is holding on as long as he can, but he realizes this is impossible. I'm gonna skedaddle. I'm out of here. And so again, you need to hold on to those rounds. You need to hold on to, obviously you need to hold on to the op as well. You need to save that bad boy, because the cost of getting another one would just be way too much again. Now it's going to be a 3-round deficit. We're entering double digits now between VGA and Arial Arise. So you got to start thinking a lot more critically now. You can't waste as many rounds as you have in the past.
You definitely cannot. Now, that is, once again, another round in the books for VGA. Unfortunately, things are just not looking the tightest for Arial Rise, but with the absolute gunner squad that's coming out now, another 6 rounds in a row, it seems to be a pattern is evolving. First we saw 4 rounds coming out for VGA, then we saw 6 for Arial Rise, now we see 6 for VGA. Question is, are Arial Rise going to break the pattern this round, or is it going to be just another run away with VGA? Cannot know just quite yet, but it does seem to be another B site take. The spike is inside of this small area right here, inside of the, well, I guess you could call B main. It's going to be Sage, though. Steph waiting for the push to be ready and go for the wall up. Flash comes out, the wall goes up immediately, but the wall comes down in quick succession because of that stim beacon. Toasty finding the all around now. Raph going with the refrag, though. The offense inside on B, but he's going to get flashed very aggressively from Toasty. And the entirety of B site is in control of VGA. It's going to be about to retake. One on stairs and one coming in. Toasty sees him, though, goes for the retake. Going over the swing, gets about to get flashed, though, but Matt comes out on the CT and is going to take him out. Time is ticking away now. The man advantage is still in favor. That 2v1, make that 1v1, as now Roasty finds the kill on to Arial Arise.
You're absolutely right. That was another fantastic round from Arial Arise, from VGA, and they just have this dominant lead right now that just does not seem to be stopped. It was looking really good for AA for a while, but what's going on with them? They cannot seem to bring it back. Their defensive side should statistically be a little bit better, but Ascent is slowly becoming like a lot of other maps, very attacker heavy. And this raw aggression that we see is working out so well because the defenders have to spread out so much to get that early game intel. Now the paranoia is going to go down from the Omen paranoia, and that's not really going to achieve a whole lot, but at least it gives a little bit of information for the defenders to figure out where it might go. Space right now with the Molly, waiting for someone to enter from A main. It's not going to connect whatsoever. We are seeing a little bit of a standstill inside of the screen itself, but there we go. Polonium taking down Space, and that's going to be a huge opening pick. You lose down on one of your top fraggers again, and Toasty claps back on the mat. So what are you going to do? You're down 2 people. You need to defend this spike. You need to figure out where it's at. And the answer is going to be it's on A site. But there's so much visible denial on top of heaven, especially with those cyber cages. There's going to be 2 bodies waiting for you on the other end of that cyber cage. Steph revives Space, and Rika and Toasty take down their respective people. It's a 5v1 now, not so much a 2 anymore. Raph is stuck in the middle of an Omen smoke. He needs to run away again. But keep in mind, running away now is going to mean he brings it to match point. Now again, this is not just match point like any other map. This is going to be set point for the losers finals of this series. And whoever wins possibly the next round after this is going to be going to the grand finals against PDHM Gaming for a chance of $300. But Raph gets a double kill in the exit frags.
That means that now it is going to be match point and series point for VGA. Something that looked like it was going to swing in favor of Arial Arise. Now suddenly going on the mend and turning around for the likes of VGA. They have one round left, but let me remind you of the fact that they have won, let's see, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds in a row. That means that the economy
Keep it up.
is probably not going to look the best for Arial Arise. Now, we saw this before yesterday, what PDHM was doing to Arial Arise. They were forcing him to save when it came down to the most important rounds, the rounds for the switches and match points. That is just kind of the name of the game. You know, you want to run away with as many rounds as you can to force the other team into a tough situation economically. See, once again, Stuns, the man running the op most rounds, is going to have to resort to the Marshal instead if he wants to keep that full armor up. Not a lot in his hands, not a lot to use.
A minute left on the clock. There's full ults pretty much on the board for VGA's side. Now it seems like the B push and then maybe the rotate into A is usually the play. If they can't get B, they're going to rotate to A. But right now it's looking like it might be a really solid B push. Steph does take down Polonium, but Toasty claps back and now you can no longer heal on the defending side. Raph goes down as well, so you lose out on your smokes and your molly as well if it didn't go off. And that's going to be a man disadvantage as well to boot. Now Toasty wants to keep going. He wants to get more kills. His one attack gets sniped out, but now he has that information that there's an op on the jet, but Roasty doesn't care. The Roasty-Toasty combo coming clutch, and that's going to be a double kill, triple kill from Roasty, and that is going to be set point VGA's favor over Arial Arise. Unfortunately, at this time of the tournament, we're going to have to say goodbye to Arial Arise and AGN for this tournament, but they do walk home with, I believe, $100. But with that being said, we will have contenders going on to the Grand Championships between Arise, VGA, and PDHM Gaming. Now, before we hit the break, let me explain real quick how this is going to work. PDHM Gaming is the winners of the Grand Championships right now. That means they only need to win one best of 3 over VGA Gaming to win it all. But VGA is the winner of the losers finals, so they have a bit more of an uphill battle to climb. They need to win not 1, but 2 best of 3s, potentially winning 6 maps, or up to playing 6 maps